Hello everybody, welcome to the Mediocre's Guide to a Marksman. So first of all, let's talk about the combat in this game and my experience with it. First of all, it has quite a high learning curve just because it plays completely different to any other MMO out there, because it does predate WoW, even though this is the EMU, which means it's been brought back after the servers were taken down in 2011, I think. So first of all, we're going to be going over each individual tree within the Marksman tree. We can also do Brawler and another guide if you wish, but the main point of this guide is just so you know how to level up correctly and most efficiently, and also how to actually do damage against low leveled monsters. Because when I first started this, I was getting killed by things called Womp Rats, and I just didn't know what was going on. So without further ado, let's get on into the guide. So first of all, before we get into the trees, we're going to go through the basics. There are 3 pulls on each enemy in the whole entire game, which is known as the hand bar: health, action and mind. Each weapon will target a different pull once you've achieved the first rank of it. So at first you'll shoot each pull with any weapon, and the problem with this is that you only need to take down 1 pull to kill an enemy. So once you've chosen the weapon you want to start off with, you can then level it up, and once you get that first level, you'll get one of 3 different things. You'll either get mind shot, health shot or action shot, and these will just target one specific pull and help you kill an enemy a lot easier. So now that we've got that down, I'm going to go through where you actually need to go to find enemies to kill. Okay, so first of all, there is 2 places I would go for an early leveler, which is either going to be Mos Eisley or Coronet. And just outside the city walls, there'll be low level mobs for you to kill. If you go to Mos Eisley, you'll want to be killing a thing called Womp Rats, I believe. They're tiny little frog-like creatures which only have a minimal amount of health, action and mind, which will help when you first start to level. And in Coronet, there are enemies with low health, action and mind, but to determine how much they have, you'll have to hover your cursor over each individual thing, and I'd recommend going for one like around about 300 mark. If you can get lower than 300, that's great. Just try and take those enemies down. If it's above 300, I would not recommend going for that until you level up once in any of them. So now that we got this down, we're actually going to go through each individual tree now. We're going to start off with rifles to pistols and then carbines, and then I'll just run you through what range support is and how it can help. Okay, so now that you're in Tatooine or Corellia or at Coronet or Mos Eisley, you can now start having a look at your rifles tree. So before you even look at it, you'll have to look at your Novice Marksman tab and see what weapon you have a certification for, because if you don't have a certification for a weapon, then you won't be able to use it effectively, and you'll get reduced damage and accuracy, and it will make the weapon absolutely useless. So what you'll want to do is have a look at what weapon you have it for, and then either buy it from the Grand Bazaar. If you started as a marksman, then you probably already have the weapon. So now you want to either head out and kill the Womp Rats or the humanoid enemies outside Coronet, which have low ham. Just keep attacking them until you get your first level of rifles. Once you've got the first level of rifles, you're going to want to either go to a marksman trainer and pay for it, or you can go to a cantina or a friend of yours, and if they actually have that skill already, they can actually teach you the skill, and then you'll just save you having to pay for it. If you want any help, you can ask my character Tano, who is a master marksman and a bounty hunter, and I will give you the training if you mail me in game. I'm part of the 364th Dagger Wolves on Talus if you want to join up on our guild. Our leader is Fix, and he'll be happy to help you with anything else either. So once you've got done this, you'll unlock Mind Shot, which will attack the opponent's mind pool only and will take down an enemy a lot faster. And what you want to do is just continue attacking enemies, but now you can go for enemies with a little bit higher ham bars, just because you can focus on the mind and take them down easier. So once you start leveling up, you'll also get new certifications for weapons. And with rifles, on each tab, it'll have on the right box, it will tell you what weapon you have a certification for, and you can buy that weapon. I recommend always upgrading your weapon to do more damage, because it can be very helpful. And the best rifle, in my opinion, is the laser rifle. It is by far one of the best weapons. I think you can only unlock it though when your rifle's 3 or 2. I'm not sure, but I'm sure on the video I'll show you. So without further ado, we're now actually going to go on to the pistol tree, which should be a little shorter because I've explained what certifications are and whatnot. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the pistols tree, and like before, check the Novice Marksman tab and see what weapon you have a certification for. You either have the weapon or you're going to need to buy it at the Grand Bazaar. And do the same thing with rifles. Go and kill the Womp Rats or the low humanoid people in Coronet, and just keep doing that till you get to Pistols 1. See, unlike rifles, you'll get a thing called Body Shot, which will only attack the health of the enemy. And just like before, just keep leveling it up and try and improve your weapon. At the end of it, you'll probably want to get either a Republic Blaster or Scout Blaster, I think it's called, or a FW5G or something like that, because the fire rate's incredible. So once you've done all of this, you're going to probably want to move on to Carbines. And for me, Carbines was the most difficult because it took a great chunk of my health whenever I used the weapon. Which is another thing I haven't mentioned till now. Each weapon, if you examine it and scroll to the bottom, will have a ham requirement, and that is how much it will take away from your health's action and mind. So you'll have to be mindful and try and get a weapon with a low ham bar. Okay, so we're nearly there. Carbines. Like before, just follow the same routine, and once you've got that first level of Carbines, you'll get a leg shot, which will do action damage. And once you've done this, like before, I would recommend upgrading to an enemy with more action, health, or mind, just so you can get more experience. And just like before, keep upgrading. And the best weapon for Carbines, I can't stress this enough, is the laser carbine. It has a very low health ham requirement, so using it won't be a problem, and it is by far the best weapon. And I recommend spending out money for your rifle, pistol and carbine around about the 10,000 mark, because a good weapon is can make the difference in damage by like 100. So that's what I recommend. So lastly, we're going to move on to range support, which won't take too long because it is quite simple, and I'll tell you what it is. So we're now on the last tree in the Marksman overall tree, which is range support. This is by far one of the easiest to level up, because when you're leveling up your rifles, pistols and carbine, you'll get combat experience, and combat experience will go towards range support. And this will just give you buffs, like passive buffs, and different kind of shots like warning shot, which all have different effects, which if you hover over them, they'll tell you what it is, which is really good. And also, if you want to go to a bounty hunter or commando, I believe, you'll actually need a lot more combat experience to actually become one of them. I think for the bounty hunter it's 40,000, and I assume that would be the same for the commando, but I'm not sure. And they also require different trees and such. So once you've fully leveled up all of this, you'll be able to become a master marksman, which you can either get someone to train you in, or you can pay for it. So one thing is, once you've achieved rank 3 in any of them, I would recommend going to a mission terminal and trying to do missions, because first of all, you'll have a weapon which is good enough to get you around about 3k missions, and you can take 2 at a time, so you'll get 6,000 credits every time you go out. And the NPCs generally have about 600 to 700 weapon experience, instead of like the 100 and something you've been getting from the mobs outside. So there, it'll be a slower process, but first of all, we'll get you credits and it will give you a change of scenery. So just before we chop off this video and end it, I'm going to have to go through what happens when you get wound damage. So wound damage is really annoying. You can get this through dying and going to a cloning facility, or sometimes it just happens over time. And the way you have to do this is find a medic and a entertainer. Entertainers are in the cantina, and medics are generally in the medic center in any city. You do not have to pay to get the wounds healed, but giving them tips just helps them out and keeps allows them to do what they're doing, because for entertainers they need to buy instruments, and then for medics they're going to need to buy stim packs and such for you to actually get healed. So to tip them, just type /tip and then put their name and the amount of credits you want to give them. It's really up to you. I mean, anything's better than nothing, just whatever you can spare. It really helps them out. So once you've got all your wounds healed, to do it, all you have to do is sit in a medical centre with some doctors, and generally one of them will heal you, or you can ask for a heal if nothing seems to be happening. And then to heal your mind, just go to the cantina, find a entertainer, right click them, and the radio menu will come up, and click watch, and just wait, and then your pulls will be refilled, and then you can go out and adventure again. So that was my somewhat guide. It's my first one. This is just really to help people who've just started, because when I first started I tried to search for a way to actually kill enemies and I just couldn't find it. There's probably guides on the internet, but I rather watch videos because it gives me a somewhat visual representation, so that's what I like to do. So I hope this has helped you. If you want any other guides on any other classes, I'll be happy to do them. Just tell me which ones you would like me to do. So thank you for watching, guys. Please tune in for another episode at some point. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. So thank you and goodbye.